Hey, I just happened across this article that I think is severely important. Okay, particularly when it comes to trying to wake up people around you. So, Tessalina wrote this story about the COVID response and how abuse is abuse is abuse. So she draws an analogy between this abusive relationship she was in and the way that COVID was handled. And it's brilliant, and it's on Substack. So if any of you are not on Substack, you need to go there stat, because there's so much truth telling over there. So let me shrink this so you can see. COVID response has many typical features of abuse: gaslighting, isolation, economic pressure. Other feature of the COVID response are the lack of logic and the ever-changing rules. Remember that? Interestingly, creating an ever-changing, unpredictable, and irrational environment is listed in the CIA torture manual as a great way to break one's resistance. As it is the case with the victims of domestic abuse, it may be hard to get through, as fear of embarrassment serves as a prison guard. The force that helps us resist and overcome the abuse is infinite self-love of the real kind. So she talks about how she married an abusive man, her experience in that marriage, and then the COVID response, classic abuse. So here's a cliche of signs of emotional abuse. Cliche list of emotional abuse signs: name calling, demeaning, humiliating, shaming, and criticizing you in private or public. That sounds like it should be in a rap song. Controlling and being possessive of you, your time and actions, including what you wear, your job, and whom you hang out with. Making you feel silly and dumb and dismissing how you really feel. Questioning what you say and things that you say happen to you, which is called gaslighting. Acting extremely jealous of the time you spend with friends and family. Punishing you by withholding attention or affection, threatening you and people you love, or threatening to hurt themselves to get what they want, wanting you to ask their permission before doing anything or going anywhere, monitoring where you go and what you're doing at all times, constantly accusing or blaming you for their abusive behavior and making you feel guilty, overloading you with compliments or gifts in order to manipulate you later. OMG. And here is the wheel of abuse. Would you look at that? Coercion and threats, intimidation, emotional abuse, economic abuse, using male privilege. That's kind of funny. But most of the people that foisted this power and control over us were of the male persuasion. Using children, minimizing, denying, and blaming. When it comes to the COVID response, did our masters tell us what to wear, where to go, whom to spend time with? Did they gaslight us? Did they try to make us feel dumb and dismiss how we really felt? Did they force isolation on us? Did they use economic abuse? Did they constantly blame us for their behavior? Any more questions? She says, I have none. Wow. This article is so poignant and intellectual and undeniably draws an excellent comparison between being in an abusive relationship and being in an abusive relationship with your government, right? Oh my God. I also found a document early on in my research process when all the shenanigans went down in March 2020, and I found a Connecticut state document outlining the marketing campaign for this. And wouldn't you know, social shaming. I'll bring up that document. It's on another laptop, saved in my bookmarks. And I wonder if that document is still on the internet and in existence, because it told you exactly how it was all going to go down and what their plan was. And they had a very devised plan that was on the, I think it was the NHS, I'm not sure, website, or the website that contains Agenda 2030. So National Homeland Security, it's not the NHS, it's the UN website. So at any rate, I think you need to read this article. It's a private membership article. But there is a lot of free content on Substack. And I think this is actually free content because I do not subscribe to her account or Mercola's. But I thought you would find this very interesting, as did I.